and welcome back to another episode of Shorr Solutions, the podcast. I am your hostess today, Mara Shorr, one half of the partners here at Shorr Solutions. This is going to be a solo episode. I'm going to be doing a few of them, and then you will also, in time, hear Jay Shorr, my business partner, our founding partner, and of course, my father. So for this particular episode, you all are just going to get me. So we are going to talk today about a topic that we see a lot during hiring, which has obviously changed completely now that we are really in the Great Resignation, and we have been for some time. So for those of you that haven't listened to previous episodes of Shorr Solutions, the podcast, or heard me speak or Jay speak about this on other webinars or at live conferences, because they are a thing again, then the Great Resignation really focuses on the mass exodus of employees from the workplace in all industries. And so that is nothing that you should be ashamed about. If you are a practice owner, if you are a practice leader, then we want to look at how to successfully keep your current team members. And this is just one of the ways to do this successfully from the start. So what I'm going to be talking to you today is about some of the top tips when it comes to onboarding your new team member. And the reason that we want to make sure we're onboarding correctly is that if we do this correctly, this will in turn lead to less turnover for a variety of reasons in the future and down the line with your current team members. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, I always encourage all of our practices to keep lists and checklists. So who would I be if I did not do the same thing? So you will see that here, if you can actually see me on video, I do have a list right here. You'll see me referring to it. So let's get started. Number one, we're going to talk about when you're onboarding, have that list of things. Yes, again, a list. Have a list of things that you want to do to prepare for your new team member to start in the practice. I encourage you to have a list of things, and we do this even for all of our team members. What will you be doing 1 week before they start, 1 day before they start, the day that they start, the week that they start, and then the second week that they start? Because I find that so often we scramble at the last minute and don't know what to do when they finally arrive the day of. So think about things that you should be doing 1 week before. Get their email address set up, confirm with them through email that with their personal email, it would be at this time, the start date, the time, confirm all of that. What time should they arrive to work? What should they be wearing? Will you be making scrubs available for them ahead of time? Do they wear just a plain black set of scrubs when they show up? Is there a different type of uniform? Talk to them about what that looks like, and just give them a little bit of detail about what their first day will look like so that they know what to expect. Now, you want to make sure that ahead of time you have received all of their paperwork, all signatures that are needed. If you don't know what that paperwork looks like, feel free to contact us and I can certainly give you a little bit more information on that. But you want to make sure you've received all of their signed paperwork. If that includes a background check, make sure that that background check has cleared. So if you have, we want to make sure that that is all done. If they need to pass a drug screening, make sure that that is done. So that includes all of that. Like I said, it then becomes email addresses are set up. Do you have their usernames and passwords ready to go in a list to give them? This could include social media if they're going to have access to social media. Now, you don't give them all of that until they actually start, but we want to make sure that you're not scrambling at the last minute. So email passwords, is there an ADP password if you use, whether it's ADP or Paychex or another payroll system that they're going to have access to? Make that list so that they have that 1 day before. Again, confirm you cannot wait to see them. And then when they arrive, make sure you know what it is that they are going to be doing on that day. So when they come in, you want to have somebody that's in charge of giving them a tour of the office, someone that's walking them through all of this onboarding. Again, how do they check their email? What software are they going to be using? Are they going to be using graphic design software? If so, what is that? If that's a marketing position, have it scheduled who is going to train them on your EMR, or if you still do paper charts, some people do, who's actually going through the paper chart system with them, who is going to be responsible for taking them to lunch on the first day. Are they going to have a mentor in the office? We want to look at what does that schedule look like on the first day. Now, you want to also know what are their goals within the first week. So what sort of training should they have ahead of time? We want to know this. So what sort of training will they have? Whether that includes watching patients, actual live patients on every procedure in your office the first week, I would say. So have them sit in and see, how are certain types of facials or peels done? How are laser treatments and RF treatments done? Is there a fat device, removing fat, shaping, etc. device in your office, without naming any by name, that you do? Explain, where is inventory kept? How is inventory done? So all of these things that we want to make sure that we're teaching them ahead of time. Make sure they have a notepad that they actually, and give them that pen and that notepad. Make sure that they have it so that they're taking notes. Supply them with phone scripts. Who is training them on the phone? All of these things that go into what happens the first week and then the second week as well. So think about it, map it out. The last thing you want to do is put them on the phones first day. If they have a front desk position, we don't want to throw them in and have them injecting the first day, as tempting as that may be, especially financially. But I would really make sure that they are shadowing you. So you want to make sure that all of those items are in place. This onboarding is so important. Also, I strongly encourage you to think about what sort of onboarding and training can be done by third parties. So, are they able to do skincare training with your skincare reps? Are there other reps that would be happy to come in and train your new team members for you, so that perhaps it doesn't take away from your current team members, and knowing that that is often a concern. So we want to make sure that we have that training schedule set up. Those conversations are set up, whether that's happening remotely or that is happening in your office. We call it the Conversion Cascade sales training. So all of our clients are able to, for example, they're all able to take this training from the comfort of their own desks, and we strongly encourage it. So look at what are those modules that would be helpful for your practice: phone training, skincare sales training, how to close the patient. What are those helpful tips and tricks? So we include that with all of our clients, and I encourage those to be tips and tricks that you include with all of your patients, and are not patients, with all of your team members as they are starting and as you're working on onboarding. Yes, we are going to take a slight break, a slight intermission, because what kind of business would we be if we didn't tell you about our own services? I want to take a minute and talk to you about the Conversion Cascade course and all that it has to offer. We want you to be trained to acquire loyal patients and boost your revenue in your aesthetic practice. Now, with our Conversion Cascade online course, you and your team will be able to master 2 key things important to growing your aesthetic practice and becoming successful: acquiring patients and retaining new patients. So, let's talk about a couple of things. As a step-by-step sales funnel training, the course is designed specifically to help you and your team attract more patients, convert more calls to consults, convert consults to treatments and procedures, and to keep your patients coming back for more. Not only will our Conversion Cascade course help to strengthen and develop your team's phone and sales skills in order to acquire, convert, and retain loyal patients, it will serve as a valuable onboarding training tool for every new team member that joins your practice. Yes, every new team member that joins your practice. Plus, in the course, you will receive downloadable marketing checklists, phone scripts, conversion tracking tools, and more. So sign up for the course to get started on increasing your revenue and acquiring and retaining new and existing patients. Yes, how to acquire and how to keep them coming back for more. It only takes approximately 4 hours to complete. You can finish it at your own pace and you'll have lifetime access. Yes, that is for the lifetime of the course. And a special thank you for being our podcast listener. We'll give you 20% off. Yes, 20% off. Just enter the discount code podcast. Yes, podcast to start saving now. So click on the link in our show notes to sign up for the Conversion Cascade online course and start acquiring more patients now. One of the other things that I like to do is ask your team member a couple different questions so that you are familiar with their work style moving forward. So if you are not already familiar with the concept of love languages, there's a book out there called The 5 Languages of Love. If you have not already read it, I highly encourage you to. If you are, not necessarily in love with reading books in one sitting, then either audiobook or even just Google it, to be quite honest. And there are the 5 languages of love. They are, and I'm going to read them because I can never remember all of them. So, words of affirmation. You're doing a great job. I'm so proud of you. Thank you so much for all you do. Those words of affirmation. Quality time. So, and again, when we talk about languages of love, this could be whether it's romantic, whether it's platonic, or in the workplace. So we're going to focus, like I said, on workplace and some examples. So words of affirmation. Quality time. In other words, spending time one-on-one, meeting with that team member, giving them that feedback one-on-one instead of through an email, just really passing them in the hallway, perhaps taking that team member out to lunch once a quarter one-on-one. We have receiving gifts. So we joke all the time. We always ask our team members, what is their love language when they first start? We had one of our team members, and I will let you wonder who that team member is, but one of our team members said, my love language is Botox. And so if you have a team member that is their love language, then you know this going in. So receiving gifts is their love language. That's how you say thank you. Acts of service. So if you see that team member is slammed, then saying, you know what, I will room this patient for you. That could mean the world to them. That is an act of service. And physical touch. Now, in the workplace, we always want to be careful what physical touch looks like. And so if you have somebody that says it's physical touch, then ask them, what does that look like? Does that mean a high five in the hallway? Does that count as physical touch? What does physical touch mean to them? So we want to make sure, and the reason I go over this is that when we think about how eventually we will have to give our team members feedback, we want to be providing them both positive and negative feedback in the way that matters most to them. So I always say, I use my husband as a perfect example. Knowing his love language, it is not words of affirmation. That means that if I thank him and I praise him and I talk about him in crowds and in front of him, that's going to make him incredibly uncomfortable. And that also parlays into the workplace. So if you have a team member that when this happens and you think you can praise them in public, and in public could be a team meeting, and they just want to shrink back in their chair and they find it mortifying versus a quiet, just a simple thank you note slipped into their desk might be what they require or what they need. It could be that when we talk about quality time, that quality time could also be an extra paid day off in time as a reward, because it could not be quality time with you, but quality time with their family. So find that out ahead of time. Now, you want to make sure that you are also, as we near the end of this, you want to make sure you look at what are their 30, 60, and 90-day goals. So on day 1, you want to think about, or it could be at the end of week 1, what is it that in 30 days you would like your employee to be doing? What is it that you'd like them to be doing 60 days from now? And what is it you'd like them to be doing 90 days from now? So think that through, convey that with them so that we know everybody is on the same page. I know that might seem like a lot to consider when you just want your new team member to go ahead and get started answering the phones, injecting, performing the treatments, etc. But let's be honest, we want to make sure we're doing it right. If you have any questions about how to onboard your new rock star of a team member, please go ahead, reach out to me, reach out to any one of my amazing team members. Feel free to ask them what their love language is. And we look forward to you joining us, i.e. me, Jay, or Jay and I together. We look forward to you joining us for the next episode of Shorr Solutions, the podcast. Thank you so much.